In today's Meta Monday episode, I'm looking at a different engine for green. Instead of red making a super aggressive build, I look at a build that I've been playtesting with moderate success. And if you enjoy these types of videos, do consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for future content. I'm close to my milestone goal of 1,000 subscribers, and to give back to the wonderful community that supports me. For this green-blue episode, I substitute out the red hybrid engine for the blue hybrid engine. This deck plays a little slower and is more control, in my opinion. As always, this build will go over the card by card, the strengths, the weaknesses, the combos, and the side deck. This deck runs 4 level 2s, 11 level 3s, 11 level 4s, 7 level 5s, 6 level 6s, 2 level 7s, 4 option cards, and 9 tamers. For level 2s, this deck runs 4 Upamon, arguably the best egg for blue right now in the present format. With Upamon, you can swing with any of your evolved rookies and net a card if your opponent has a Digimon with no evolution sources. Because of this format with constant searching with Bokomon, Flamemon, Strabimon, and Betamon, this makes it a guaranteed +1 to your hand for resources. There aren't any other babies to substitute for this because of your low level rookie count. I haven't made it through on my exit in a game, so rather than gambling that 5th egg popping up, I've been running just the 4. For level 3s, I run 11 in the form of 4 Strabimon from BT4, 3 BT7 Strabimon, and 4 Bokomon. After heavily playtesting and trying a reverse red engine, Gabumon did not quite mesh as well as I had hoped, considering Strabimon can search for Strabimon. And that's not just the BT4 version, but both. Additionally, BT4 Strabimon has one viable tamer target in the form of Davis Motomiya. Bokomon, your MVP, and while it can't be digivolved from, adds any of your 10 legendary warrior Digimon, tamer, and hybrids. There's not a whole lot I'd substitute in this, but the hybrid engine definitely accelerates this build and provides some control depending on your option cards as well. Although at this point, additional cards for consideration are Neemon. But let's be real, I think Neemon fits better in a pure blue deck. For level 4s, this deck runs 11 in the form of 3 Arbormon, 4 Beetlomon, and 4 Metal Kabuterimon. Arbormon is your vanilla hybrid for evoing up on top of JP if needed. While it's not the hybrid you want to see, it can provide a transition point to Rhino Kabuterimon, who's your real MVP target in the deck. If Jesmon loves Savior Huckmon, this deck loves Rhino Kabuterimon. Your last 8 cards in this section are Beetlemon and Metal Kabuterimon. Beetlemon helps with additional searches in the form of JP and other hybrids, while Metal Kabuterimon helps with suspending your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less. Keep in mind when digivolving Beetlemon or Metal Kabuterimon on top of JP, the total memory cost for this play is 1. And again, these are great targets to go up into Rhino Kabuterimon. Again, there aren't too many substitutes for green hybrid, because Arbormon's about as vanilla as you get, and Petaldramon's evolution cost would still be 2 to go off of JP. Although his body size is 7000 DP, JP provides inheritable piercing. For level 5s, this deck runs 4 copies of Rhino Kabuterimon and 3 Cherrymon. Originally when playtesting this, I ran Blossomon, but found the Digisorption ability to not really help. In addition, with the meta currently evolving around hybrids and fast chip attacks, Cherrymon is useful as a blocker to stop my opponents from taking game. Against red, even if they have piercing, this Digimon can stop that lethal attack at 0 security. Additional testing still needs to be done, but so far Cherrymon has worked out amazingly well. For level 6s, this deck runs 6 of them in the form of 1 BT6 Argomon, 1 Ancient Troymon, and 4 Ancient Beetlemon. I main deck 1 tech copy of Argomon from BT6. This mega level Digimon forces my opponent's tamers to be suspended on Digivolve, and they can't be unsuspended until you remove Argomon. Meaning against purple decks, hybrid evolutions become less aggressive, and Kari Kamiya is effectively shut down. Against yellow, there's no Shine Greymon plays because the tamers themselves are stunned permanently until Argomon is removed. Unfortunately, it gets bottom decked a lot of time due to Bokomon. Hybrids also bottom deck him, but his only searchability at this point in the deck is Davis Motomiya. As for the other level 6s, Ancient Troymon is another 10 legendary warriors target that can help against wide boards, while Ancient Beetlemon is your MVP. Ancient Beetlemon helps going for aggressive checks, trashing a security if you deleted a Digimon with him in battle, and then piercing for an extra check with JP if it's inherited. And while red can capitalize on its aggressive effects, I've also found checking too many times can be detrimental. Keep in mind, if you don't trash powerful option cards, you could get potentially board wiped. Moving to BT7, this deck runs 2 copies of Suzanomon, a card that can be searched via BT7 Strabimon. And why Suzanomon? There's plenty of hybrids for a potential evo off a Tamer. There's also the potential to evo off of a level 6 Digimon. But the real kicker? Hidden potential discovered. There might not be Mega Digimon Fusion anymore, but HPD is still a thing. Who doesn't want to check for 3 potential security and delete a Digimon on Digivolve? There are other substitutes, but I'll probably go over this in the side deck. Moving to option cards, this deck runs 4 in the form of 1 Ice Wall, 1 Hidden Potential Discovered, and 2 Thunder Laser. Ice Wall is a nice one copy of to buy yourself a turn if you really need it. Additionally, with so much searching, you can realistically anticipate what is going to be in your security. Originally, I ran 4 copies of Hammer Spark, but found the sparks themselves to clutter my hand. And while the Upamon egg is typically out and available, I'd honestly rather see them in security. Hidden Potential Discovered for that evolution reduction cost, which can make Suzanomon free under the right conditions. And lastly, 2 Thunder Lasers for defense. Finally, for Tamers, this deck runs 1 Davis Motomiya, 2 Mimi Tachikawa, 4 JP Shibayama, and 2 starter deck Izzy Azumi. Davis Motomiya is a one-of not just for being a search target for BT4 Strabimon, but also adding green Digimon to your hand as well. In the ideal situation, you might add a Strabimon and a green hybrid, or even the green 10 Legendary Warriors Digimon. It also helps control your memory at 3 without risking a Digivolution up from it. Which is why out of the 9 Tamers you run, only 1 is blue and the rest are green. Mimi Tachikawa is a generic memory stabilizer, and in some occasions can help you raise an extra egg if you have a level 5 or higher on board. 4 JP Shibayama for the inheritable piercing and evo reduction costs on your hybrids, and 2 starter deck Izzy Azumi. I really wish this card was both turns, but for balance I can see why it's only on your turn. When you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon on your turn, suspend this Tamer to gain 1 memory. While you can combo this with Metal Kabuterimon, it overall is a cheap Tamer for evoing your hybrids into. Moving to strengths and weaknesses, this deck has a hard time against fast chip aggro decks. Against Dark Knightmon D Brigade and Emperor Greymon, if you find your Cherrymon early enough, you can slow down these types of decks. Ice Wall also helps. In terms of strengths, it plays definitely more late than early game, and has an easy time to find your pieces. I've begun noticing more and more when to play which Strabimon outright and which one to Digivolve into. Missing Tamers and Hybrids? Hard play BT4 Strabimon to maybe find Davis. Bokomon is your best option in these situations. As for combos, let's start by saying you've controlled the game very well, and you're at 0 or 1 security, and your trash has gotten quite full with Strabimon and other green hybrids. If Bokomon is on your field and you have the Davis Motomiya and a JP Shibayama, you can Hidden Potential Discovered for 0 memory assuming there's no Gaussmon, Sayakomon, or Cutemon, and Digivolve one of your Tamers into Suzanomon for a memory cost of 2. But, because Bokomon gains 2 memory when Digivolving off a Tamer, you'll gain 2 memory back for a free Suzanomon. In a few practice games I've managed to pull this combo off, and boy does it feel satisfying. As for other combos, you'll typically Digivolve into Beetlemon on JP Shibayama. The Digivolution cost is 1, due to JP's effect or a net +1 memory with Bokomon on the field. Afterwards, you can search for a Rhino Kabuterimon and Digivolve again for a memory cost of 1. Then swing and Digivolve into Ancient Beetlemon for a memory cost of 3. Even if the memory passes over, you'll still resolve damage and trash security if a Digimon was deleted. Then check security with JP's piercing. Finally, the side deck for this, as always, is theoretical. My recommendation is the following. 2 Sayakomon from BT5 for memory blocking reducing costs. In the BT7 format, this card will see a lot of play with blue. And although it may reduce your consistency with searching, you'll have ways to stop your opponent from climbing up too quickly. Likewise, 2 Madoki Betamon helps with memory blocking, whether it be memory boosts or gaining effects that your opponent gains when playing against red. Emperor Greymon? Nope. Chaos Valderarm at 2 copies would be a replacement card for Susanamon if you're playing against a deck that builds wide very quickly. Likewise, Flower Cannons would also be used to offset this. But Thunder Laser is definitely the best green suspending option card at this point if you're playing green hybrid. Finally, the last 2 slots have 2 green memory boosts in the case you're having issues finding specific cards. With green memory boost, you can search for Ancient Beetlemon if you're not finding them in the right matchup, or even Rhino Kabuterimon. But overall, this is a weak pick and could really be anything you want. Mechanorimon, or a 3rd copy of Sayakomon and Madoki Betamon. Or even 2 more BT5 Argomon. Overall, what are your thoughts on green-blue hybrid as a build? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, this is Digi-Panda logging out.